All right, all you freedom loving boys and girls, Mark Centerline Systems. Hey, we're gonna do a video. This video is gonna cover our new product, what we're calling the mud flap right now, right? Or maybe the tinfoil hat. I did a live stream on this already, but in my, I don't know if it's my defense or as in my how I've just come to understand things. So when you do a live stream, I can't use that link over on the website where people can look at the product and then see what videos we've done. I don't know why that is. If you're a smart person, leave a note. So I'm doing this video. You can go and watch the live stream. I'm not going to do as much. I'm not going to cover as much as I did in the live stream. I'm just going to show off the product real quickly, show how it kind of functions, and then give you an additional pointer on the Mother Canteen Carrier, and then I'm going to show you how to assemble it. Or go back and watch the live stream. This one though, so I guess just on that note right there, I just learned a lesson going forward because I want to start doing more live streams, which I'm going to do. Matter of fact, I'm going to shoot one here this afternoon on a different product, but I'm going to also have to do the static video on demand if I want to be able to use that video over on my website. Again, if you're smarter at this, or if you know why it happens that way, leave me a note in the comments below. But yeah, I tried uploading the live video and it wouldn't let me do it. So here we are. So you get to see my smiling face and my awesome beard just one more time talking about the same product. So we're going to go into it right here. Here it is, the mud flap, right? I've got a couple pictures out. We'll have more on the website soon. But as you can see, it's a cover or a lid for your Mother Canteen cover. Now, this is the Mod Deuce, right? So that's what we're calling the second generation Mother. Just a quick little history. We had the Mother Canteen Carrier. It's a little bit smaller, right? We built it around the heavy cover, the titanium USGI style canteen. And then a few years back, so many people were asking about a larger carrier for like their Crusader. Yeah, here's one right here. Like, for their Crusader, if you're overseas. And then they came up with that more squared off, where the edges are more square as opposed to oval canteen. And once we did that, we came up with the GCC, the ginormous canteen carrier. But the moment I did that, most people wanted to go to the larger, and it literally was like, 4 out of 5 orders, 5 out of 5 were going for the Mod Deuce as opposed to the Mother. What does that have to do with this video? Well, not a lot, except for the fact that if you have a original Mother, or if you've got our new second gen Mod Deuce, the cap, as you can see, the lid or the mud flap, it works with both of them. So I just want you to see this. So this is a regular Mother, and how you can kind of tell is right here. Mother only has 2 of these tie down loops. The GCC or the Mod Deuce has 3 of them, right? But so here's one, and there's a Nalgene canteen in here. So you can see it on the Mother Canteen Carrier. And I'm going to explain how to set it up and everything, but I'm going to use this Mod Deuce. This is mine as my my prop here for the video, right? So what I'm doing right here is I just want to kind of show this around. You can see I'm shaking it a little bit. So the way we have this set up and the way we designed it is you don't have to take off any of the hardware that's already existing on the Mother when you buy it, right? It's going to come with chasm buckles, a shoulder strap. We're making the mud flap in such a way where you can just add and subtract as you see fit, but you don't have to mess with any of the hardware. Well, there's one little thing you have to do, but it's simple, and I'll show you in a second. But by doing so, then, you can take this on or off and then just undo your shoulder strap and plug it right back into your Mod Deuce, and it'll work just as well. So, but the other nice thing about that and the way we're doing it is, so the mud flap, it's going to come with 2 chasm buckles. Each side will have a chasm buckle, and that'll be a little bit more clear when I show you how to assemble it. And then it comes with, where'd I put them? There we go, over here. Learned this trick from Jack at Black Scout with these G hooks. And I apologize, in the live stream, I called them G hooks, but then I call them J hooks every now and then. I don't know, just dyslexic. I'm getting old. I don't know, but they're G hooks from ITW Nexus. Now, these are super expensive. Don't lose those things, because that's not like, if you reach out to me like, hey, Mark, can I get another chasm buckle? I'll hook you up, right? They're not cheap either. But those G hooks, they're over $4. So that's just a little tweaking that you have to do. But once you get it set up, what I really want to show off here, again, just kind of shaking it, the weight transference is still coming right down into the chasm buckle via the webbing into the other side release buckle and then via the webbing. So it's not pulling on the carrier. It's not pulling on the lid. It's all of that weight transference is going through webbing and stitching. So it's really good and solid, and it's just going to stay on there once you get it set up, right? So again, and this one's mine. We'll come back to this in a little bit, but I'm going to jump over to show you another way possibly to use your Modus that, and kind of what compelled me. Let me take a step back. So we were looking at doing this about 2 or 3 years ago, and I apologize, the last, couple of years of unpleasantness, it all just blends into one day, right? But there was about 3 years ago, I don't know what it was, but all you great men and women, everybody wanted a lid, like, oh, but I want a lid, I want to be able to, I want to cover it up. And I'm like, you're out in the woods. It's no matter what you do, there's going to be dirt and there's going to be twigs. You might even find small insects and, or someone's a small child, right? So, and I remember back in my day when I was a cool guy doing cool guy stuff, you'd be up to your chest, wading through swamps and mud, all your deuce gear, your running gear, your LBE, whatever your term was for it. Man, there's just, you would pull out your canteen cup, and you'd be shaking out half of the dirt of Fort Benning or NTC out with it anyway. So, it didn't really matter. But for those who want to keep it protected, and I guess before I show you how to assemble, what you'll notice here is, it's far enough down. Yeah. So here's the front flap right here, but it would have to go up and over to do it. So there's enough coverage on the sides and the front where your pockets are, where whether that's rain, sleet, mud, water, whatever it is, you can see it's going to slough that out forward and over the top of the shoulder, so to speak, of any of your pockets. So it's not, there's no foreign, I'm hesitant to say this because, look, inevitably, if you're out in the woods really getting it on, there's going to be dirt and crap inside of your carriers. And just like there's going to be a ton of dirt in your boots and, in your ears and all that kind of crap. So, but you can see my point. It's going to slough it off and help, keep this and whatever you've got in here, even more dry. And it does add another little level of security. Now that bikini strap going over your items is really secure, but as you can see, I mean, that's a really compact unit right there with the mud flap on. And before I continue, in case you didn't see the live stream, so we are running a little contest. I'm kind of a smart ass. I like mud flap and I like tinfoil hat. And over on the live stream and people who've seen that video, some people have left some comments and suggestions. They're pretty good, but nothing's beating mud flap so far. So if you come up with a better name, a name that either makes me laugh so freaking hard, some people have already tried that, but those were a little pornographic, so we're not gonna repeat those things. But you know what I'm getting at, right? Come up with a name or make me laugh really hard, and I'll probably hook you up with one for free, and maybe we'll do it in the naming convention. All right, now before I show you how to assemble this, I'm going to give a quick shout out, and I did this in the last video. You got to give shout outs, credit where credit's due. So a friend of mine, one of the Crazy Eights, Los Ochos Locos, reached out to me. Hadn't talked to this guy in years. Reached out to me, had seen one of our Mother Canteen Carriers, and thought it already had a cover on it. So that's another thing that kind of kicked my butt. Again, 3 years ago or so, I just had so many people asking for a cover. And then when this gentleman reached out, and I'm going to show you why he didn't ask for it. He just thought there was a cover on it. And then he explained how he wanted to use his G2. And that's what I'm going to show you right now. And that was kind of the nice little kick in the butt, if you want to call it that, to include, and I apologize to everybody from 3 years ago, but hey, you can still get one. It'll fit with your original Mother or your Madu. So I already kind of mentioned that. And if you're not into, everyday carry, if you're just into the strictly hunting, hiking, aspect of things, fine, you do you. But there's a lot of people who do carry and they think they take everyday carry seriously, right? So this gentleman did as well. And what he wanted a platform that wasn't going to scream everyday carry bag, because a lot of those bags look, they either look very militant or they look very tactical. He wanted a bag that was going to accomplish his real world everyday carry, concealed carry needs in something in a little bit more of a discreet package, right? So if you don't like this kind of stuff, I don't know, hit pause, fast forward for about 30 seconds. It ain't going to take long, and then I'll show you how to assemble it. But if you can kind of see inside of there, now that's all real, but it's all training material, right? But that's a mid-frame, it's got a magazine in it, 3 magazines, and then no joke blowout kit, GSW. So here, I'll just kind of pull this out because that's what he wanted, you know, and again, and all of your exterior pockets and the tie downs are still open for chem lights, ferro rods, additional first aid, lickies, chewies, a trauma blanket. You could put a SAM splint up in here if you really wanted to. But so again, you do you, but this is how this gentleman wanted to run it, right? So again, you know, none of this is live. You know, as you can see, it's just a little training weapon right there. 3 magazines. No joke GSW kit. That's what I kind of had. I still have that from long ago. A tourniquet. Oh, yeah, you can still see it. A tourniquet. Kind of move the camera down so we'd see this a little better. A tourniquet. And then on the inside rear slip pocket, a little notebooky, right in the rain type of thing. One of my pens came off, but just get this tucked out of the way for a sec. All right. So the lid, like obviously that all fit in there easily. And I'd never thought about that before. I simply always thought about it from my hunting and my hiking and camping needs. But that's a great idea. And that makes, you know, especially when you get into like, you know, these type of colors. Now, you know, in all fairness, you know, when you have this, you know, this doesn't look tactical, but this kind of can look like a camera bag. So just be cognizant, you know, because if you're doing foreign travel, you know, you got this over your shoulder, you better anyway. But, you know, if somebody did mistake it for a camera bag, you know, they might want to steal it. So if you're going to use it for your everyday carry because it's more nondescript, you know, and it kind of like just fits in with your environment a little better, just be cognizant though. I personally think, you know, when the lid on, it just looks like a large rectangular bag, and that can often be, you know, kind of associated with camera bags, and cameras are expensive. So that could make you a target of theft if you're, you know, on holiday or whatever the case is. Or yeah, honestly, I just thought of it. Or if you're on holiday, yeah, maybe depending on your camera and the gear you're carrying, you could turn it into a little small on-the-go camera bag. I just totally just thought about that right now. All right, but anyway, so that's how he wanted to run this thing. Well, in order to do that, and it's not going to give super fast access, but that's not what he's looking for. He's looking for like an, oh my God, zombie apocalypse. I got a small go bag that's not going to scream tactical and all that kind of crap. Right. So now I'm going to show you kind of how to assemble it. So I got my lid here, and I'll get to that in a second. Oh, yeah. One little piece of prep work. This is what you want to do. That's what I want to show you. So over on the side buckles, right? Yeah, that'll show up. So this is the side pocket. This up here is the chasm buckle where the shoulder strap would attach. And then down here, this male and female, that's actually what you manipulate to open up the pocket. So when you're getting prepped, and this could be a little bit of a pain in the butt for you. I'm going to kind of show this out, and I got to give these guys a little better props. So we sew that tip on the end of our webbing. We fold it and sew it. The very first time I saw that was when one of my packs from way back in the day when I was downrange doing cool guy stuff. And I just have always called it a Kelty tip because that's where I first saw it, was on a really good Kelty pack, which I still have to this day. So I just call it a Kelty tip. And if somebody else invented it, I don't know, but I just call it a Kelty tip internally. But that Kelty tip makes it difficult for the webbing to just inadvertently come out of the tri-glide in the buckle. But you can still get it out, hold it flat, push it through. You just want to get one part of the buckle open like that, because then you're going to take one of your G hooks, which also has a tri-glide, right? And you're just going to weave it, right? So the G hook's going to be the hook part right there. The hook part, you want that up near the top. So you're just going to come through, just like any other tri-glide, come through the top of it, come back down through the bottom. Yeah, that doesn't quite show up. There we go. And then just come through the bottom. And now your G hook is suspended, you know, and it's a tri-glide, so it's the same thing. If it pulls straight up, it won't go at all. You got to twist it and feed it. But also, don't worry about losing your male Fastech buckle because, well, it's snapped right now. But now that I ran it through the G hook and I ran it through the tri-glide and the G hook, even if I undo that bottom buckle, it can slide around, but it's trapped between the webbing on the Modus and the G hook, right? So it isn't going anywhere. So when you set this up, you're not going to run the risk of losing any of your other hardware. Now, here's what the lid looks like by itself, right? Let me get that set up. So like I said, each one will have chasm buckles on the side, and then right below your chasm buckles, that one might not show up quite as good. there, that you can kind of see it. There's webbing underneath there. I'm going the wrong way. There, that shows up a little better. There's a loop of webbing under the bottom, and that's where your G hook is going to attach. On the inside, so here's the front with the logo, and you got some Velcro if you want to put a cool guy patch there, or just, you know, some other type of identifier or marker for whatever you're using. But so that's the front. You flip it inside out. And then this is about the simplest ways I can think it. So have it in your hand with the front facing you, turn it inside out, and now it's upside down and backwards. And in the back, now this isn't going to show up really good, but you can see there's webbing coming across here, and there's stitching in the middle to make it into 2 channels. That is where on the back of your Mother, just undo your molly columns, right? Just get them all the way free. Even with the cap on, the mud flap, you will still be able to attach this to and use the molly and attach it to another product, sling it over the back of your car seat, whatever you want, right? But undo your molly columns first. Have the cap. So again, it's upside down and backwards. So there's the front, which is one big open channel, and I'll explain that in a second. But have the 2 channels facing you. And then all you're going to do, and hopefully this will come up, you can see what I'm just going to do. I'm just going to run the molly columns right down those two slots. That's how I'm just going to start it up. Super simple. Unless you're doing this on a live stream, then that's when everything fails. And that's when you have a brain fart and you do things all upside down and backwards. Now, I'm just going to do it for the sake of the video. I'm just going to run it through one of the top row and then just snap it in place so I don't have these molly columns flapping around on me when I'm doing this. All right. And so that's kind of what it's, you know, it's inside out, but there it is. It's secured. And as you can see, I still would have 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 4 more rows that I can manipulate going back through the Mother, going through another product, whatever you're securing it to, and the top will still be on here. Now, just hold it and have it face towards you. Now you can do this one of 2. You can do this however you want. You don't have to turn it inside out. Maybe you're just really good at thinking things inside out, upside down, and backwards. Isn't that a song? Inside out, upside, whatever. All right, Lord, what you're doing to me, something like that. But now you're going to take your bikini strap, and because I don't know if you're going to run a single cup system, you know, the Crusader sits nice and flush, but if you put another cup under there, that's going to raise it up. Same with a heavy cover or any of these more squared off ones. If you're running multiple cups, it's going to rise up, you know, inside of the body, depending on what you're running in there. So I don't know if you're only going to have this last little bit of the bikini strap exposed, or if it's going to need to come through back up here, you know, where it's a little bit wider. So because I don't know that, we just made that strap up on the front, just 1 channel. So run your strap through that thing, right? Now it's, again, upside down and backwards, and then just bring it back up to the front. And as you're doing that, just start pushing up in the corners. Well, and as I did that, of course, just like the live stream, something was bound to not go 100% correct. So I'm just running my strap back through there. And then now I'm just kind of pushing out the corners, and I'm making it kind of like fit its roll. And then I'm just going to attach the front. Now you can see it's just kind of sitting up on top of it right now. It's secured. And at that point in time, now you want to take your G hooks, secure them to that little, is that coming up on, yeah, right about there. You can see it there. I just secured the G hook. Yeah. There. I just secured the G hook to this bottom loop. Going to go over to the other side. Do the same thing. Now this one I still have tightened up from how I had it set up before I shot this video. So I'm going to kind of pull this, and here you'll see right here. So that webbing is coming back through that buckle on the bottom. That probably isn't showing up all that great. And it's a little bit of a pain in the ass. You actually, and that's the good thing, right? You don't want your webbing just to inadvertently come out and then just now your gear is like, you know, strewn on the trail for the last 5 miles behind you. So I'm just going to give a little bit of slack in here on this G hook. There we go. Now I got a bunch of slack. Now there's nothing in here, so this isn't going to quite fill out the way you want it. But then just start kind of tucking it and pulling it a little bit. You know, if you see that multi-cam, here it is. You know, so that inside of here, and I'll open this up at the end. So that's a heavy cover in there, single cup system. And, you know, and I've got a bunch of other material on the bottom, but that fits in kind of nicely. You know, if you don't have a lot in there, well, you know, it'll probably look a little bit like that. Now mine's not kind of dressed up, but then just get it to where you want. And then you've got gear in there, and then just start dressing it up. The bikini strap is already through the front. The molly's through the back, so it isn't going in there anywhere. You're just taking your side G hooks and just dressing them up. There you go. And then just get it nice and tight, make some adjustments. And that guy, isn't coming off. Right? It's on there. It's really on there and solid. So even if you took a tumble, and if you had important items inside of there, you're not going to lose any of that stuff because it's not coming off until you manipulate it. Right? And there's that bad boy right there. That's the mud flap. We're at 20 minutes. Hey, the last thing I'm going to say, though, is, again, if you're in that everyday carry, obviously accessing whatever your key components are, it's not going to be as fast as if those key components were on your person, whether you're open or concealed, right? But the one thing that you can do if you feel like you're getting into one of those type of environments, so you've got this tightened, just loosen it up a bit. And this will be the same thing, even if you just want to drink, from the canteen or whatever you've got inside there. You don't have to undo the whole unit to access the inside. If you just loosen up your sides, the G hooks, and then just undo the front, there, now you can access it, right? The whole interior, the lid or the mud flap or the tinfoil hat, whatever, didn't come off. It's still secured with 3 points. Actually 4, the 2 molly in the rear and the 2 G hooks on the side. I just loosened up the G hooks, didn't even do anything with the molly in the rear. And all I did was just undo my bikini strap in the front. And then you just grab it and pull it, and then it turns over, like that. And then, again, when you're done, you're drinking or you're accessing whatever you need to do for whatever that purpose is. And then just dress it up, pull it back over the front, re-secure things. So my bikini strap is still through that. I can just run it back over, attach it, get it back on there tight, and then just secure it and pull it tight. All right. That hopefully combined with our live stream is a pretty good intro set of videos for our mud flap. Again, last but not least, well, and I also, if you're watching this the second time and, and it's kind of the same content as the live stream and you watch the live stream video, I apologize, but that's on me. I just found out or just learned the kind of the hard way. I want to start doing live streams so people, because, people are joining in, they're asking questions. I think it's entertaining to me. You guys and gals are just great people. I like that. But it won't work for me on my website. So I had to shoot this video. I think going forward, I'll probably shoot the video, record it as a video on demand, shoot the live stream, have everybody interact. And then a week or two later, the video on demand, then I'll just post up. So, if you didn't get a chance to see the live stream, or, if you're kind of like me, and sometimes, we're knuckleheads, if I pull up your YouTube or ScrewTube or whatever it is, some of them, they have different, the live streams, some are completely different than, all of your regular content. So that's kind of why we're doing that a little bit right there. I think that's going to wrap it up. 23 minutes, give or take. That's a lot of content for, what just seems like to be just a lid or whatever the case is. But as I've always said, but if you think the Mother Canteen Carrier, if you think this is just a canteen carrier, just throw your canteen in a sock. Obviously, whether you're using this for a bug out bag, a get home bag, whatever you want to call it, you're out there hiking and camping, the deal. There's a lot of material that you can put here, and that's not even talking about what you might attach below or attach to the shoulder strap. There's a lot of gear that you can carry here, and that suddenly becomes an incredibly robust, over the shoulder, minimalist platform that, it's Mother Nature, and you just think, hey, it's just a 5 mile, out and back. Well, Mother Nature doesn't look at it that way. So you should always be prepared no matter what, right? And especially with everything that's going on in the world right now. So here it's Thursday, the 22nd of February. And depending on where you were in the country, last night into this morning, there's a bunch of people speculating. I'm not going to speculate too much, but, last week, if you followed this type of stuff, there was already talks that, because we're entering into a solar phase, and there was, questions and comments about, solar flares, coronal mass ejection. I didn't have cell service from last night until probably 11 o'clock Central Time today. So whatever your situation is, if you just think you're in total control, you're failing to understand that there's this thing called Mother Nature or the celestial heaven, whatever you want to say, wild animals, rain, thunder, lightning, all of that has a say too. So it's better to have and not need than need and not have. So always be prepared. And on that note, You know the deal. If you ever have questions, comments, reach out to me anytime, except for 3 in the morning. Now, somebody took that the wrong way in one of my last videos, and he's a good guy, but I know he's probably giving me a hard time. But I hope it doesn't come in across where I'm saying don't call me at 3 in the morning, because I am actually saying don't call me at 3 in the morning. But yeah, you can call me on the weekends or the weekdays. That's what I'm here for. But 3 in the morning, come on, man. We all know what time zones, even if, like, hey, I do a lot of business with Australia, and I love all the great men and women over there. And I still have to figure it out. And Australia has like 3 time zones, right? So you got to still, like, okay, in a second. So I just do a real general, okay, 15 hours, give or take, but if you still have your computer, your phone, it takes 2 seconds to figure out, okay, what it's this time, my time zone. What is it in Sydney or Perth or Melbourne? Come on, man. Come on. Don't call me at 3 in the morning and, oh, I wasn't sure what time it was where you live. Really? Oh, I'm sorry. I digress as always, but that was funny. And you know who you are. I appreciate it, sir. No, I'm not mad if you call me on the weekend. People can call me on the weekends. I'm working most of them anyway. So give me a call. Just don't do it at 3 in the morning. I will do the best I can to help you out. Until then, as always, keep thinking, keep moving, never quit. All right, everybody, be good.